Welcome to Bookkeeping. In this video, I'll walk you through on how to create a dynamic and searchable chart of account with only formula. Okay, so the very first step is to create your bookkeeping interface. I just name it My Bookkeeping. In this bookkeeping interface, we will include a place to select your language and a place to return the language code, because we need to use the language code to index to the chart of account like this one. Language 1, language 2. In the chart of account, we'll be putting up the description of the general ledger accounts in English and Chinese and Japanese. So let's move to A1. I just called it select language. Right next to it, Control 1. Give it a border. Fill that in with green. I create a simple drop box for selection. Highlight that and then Alt-D-L. Then you will see a data validation. Let's move this a little bit. I'm going to allow a list. We are going to include lang 1, which is English, comma, lang 2, Chinese, or whatever language. It depends on what language you put. And lang 3 is Japanese. We only want the leftmost 5 digits because we are going to use that to match with the language in the chart of account that we will be creating. Let's pick a language here. Name the language selection cell as my lang selection, whatever. You just give it a name because it's easier to put in the formula. And then I called it language code. This one is equal to the left of my language selection, comma. We only need the leftmost 5 digits, which is this one. Just call it my language code. In our accounting template, for each transaction number, we will have a type. For each transaction, we only have bank purchase and the receipt. We only have 3 types of transaction in our bookkeeping interface. Based on the transaction type, we will be able to select the account. Let's say if I change it to purchase, then I will be able to select the purchase. And if I change it to revenue, then I will be able to select revenue, R, this one. Let's say if I put R, then I should be able to select only those with R. I change it to accounts receivable, something like that, I'll be able to select only the account. It can be in different language, but I'm not going to do it here. So basically what we're going to do is create I just call it my transaction number. And then the next one is my transaction type. I just called it account selection, item, whatever, doesn't matter. So this one, highlight that. Control T. You will be able to create table, and I will take my table as headers. For transaction number, doesn't matter because in our case, I just called it ref. And then a rows B6, lock the first cell by pressing F4 and B6. Then you will see reference 1, 2, 3, whatever. For the transaction type, I'm going to Alt-D-L. Then you have the data validation. We allow the list, and then the source is going to be equal to purchase, revenue, receipt, or bank. Press OK. Then you'll be able to select 3, right? Highlight the cell, Control C to copy, and then press Shift and down arrow to select the whole column, and then you press Control V to copy so that you can select whatever list, something like that. So you press escape, then you can move on to the account selection. For the account selection, we will need something called chart of account like this. Right beside my bookkeeping, press the plus sign. Then you will have a new worksheet, call it my chart of account. For the chart of account, we need the account code that lists out all the general ledger accounts and all the description. Actually, in this case, you don't need the type because you only need the type when you create a tax schedule, audit schedule is for future. At this moment, you don't really need the general ledger account type. I'm just picking a cell, call it my GL, which is general ledger account code. And then I just put language 1, language 2, language 3. I simply copy everything from the code. The coding system is coming from Canada. You can apply different coding system according to your country. You don't necessarily follow the accounting convention. So we go back to the general ledger account, press Ctrl V. For each one, I also select all the description, including English, Chinese, and Japanese. Okay, feel free to build your account selection. Then I go here and Ctrl V to paste it. Select all the cell and then press Ctrl T, create a table. And then I take my table has headers. What we have is a new set of chart of account. We need to create a cell that we assign to be the search. We call it a search cell because we need some criteria to query the chart of account to look up for the account description. Move somewhere here. Just call it my select cell. Usually I give it a border. And in this one, I just type cash because I can look up for the first two items. So basically, these 4 columns are your source data. It's all about typing, no formula. And now I'm going to create a new column called my display text. Actually, this one is the description that is based on the language selection that you do in the bookkeeping interface. Actually, it's based on this because we use this language code to look up from the chart of account here, the column head. So let's do this description. The display text is simple because we only use the index match that we learned before, right? First of all, we use the index to look up from this column. General ledger account code. Let me remove the @ sign so that you can select the whole column. I will make it a little bit bigger. Then I press comma to move on to the next array. Oh, enter. You just match the row, comma, and then it's based on the column. Oh, enter. What we need to do is fill in the row and the column. That's called two-way lookup because we're going to look up for the code from the rows. When you scroll down and you're looking for the column that matches with the language code. Language 1, language 2, or language 3. We do the row first. Lookup value of the row is individual account code. Comma, and then it's looking up from the general ledger account code column. The whole column. So let me remove the @ sign so that you can see the blue area. What it means is you're looking for individual code checking from the account code column individually. Then you move on, comma, and the match type is 0. Okay, and we move on to the column. The lookup value of the column is, actually, you need to move back to bookkeeping interface, and then you look for the language code that renamed before is the lookup value, comma. And then the lookup array is going back to our chart of account. We're looking from the column head. Let's say we have language 1. So language 1 is going to be in this column. So we are matching the language code to the language 1 column head. Actually, I got something wrong here. The index array, which is this one, we're not looking up only from here. We are looking up from the whole table 1. The whole table. Sorry about that. Then we move on to the match type. It's going to be exact match 0. So when I type this, something wrong here. Oh, you know what? Because this one should be table 2. Sorry about that. This one is table 2. Actually, I'm going to rename Ctrl F3 and rename table 2 I'm just getting lazy. So just call it my chart of account. Okay, so that it's easier to understand. So you see here, so we are looking up from the chart of account, which is here, and then we do a two-way lookup with the row using individual general ledger account code, and the column will be the language code against the column name. Usually I will test my formula by going back to my bookkeeping interface, and then I will change my language. Let's change it to Chinese. Then you see the language code becomes 2. When you look back to the my chart of account, your display text will become Chinese because it's looking up from the column 2. Okay, let's take a break.